Hello, hello. My name is Nicholas Rivas, and I talk about politics and stuff. And today we're going to be talking about the Haitian history and how it pertains to the American imperialism that may have or may have not ruined its history and caused what we are seeing today. This is kind of a dry topic, but it's pretty relevant. I'm also going to be playing video games and researching this topic, so bear with me. This is an idea I've been having for a while of just doing some research, playing some video games, kind of a more chill video where I don't have to turn on my camera. And that's basically it. So, yeah. From what I've heard and seen from clips like this,
Nobody thinks that it will benefit America to become more like Haiti. Much bigger
Right.
country.
We don't want a marine invasion and occupation of the United States that constantly decapitates governments and takes the money out of the country.
That's not entirely why Haiti's in the position that it's in. I mean, at a certain point, as a country, you have to stand on your own 2 feet and take care of yourself. And
but at what point is that? They elect Aristide and we overthrow Aristide. Then they elect Jovenel Moise. Jovenel Moise is assassinated a bunch of people with American connections, and then we install in 2021, like the United States installed the prime minister that we just ousted.
the Haitian people have been basically given really not much to work off of after the Haitian Revolution. That's kind of my understanding of the Haiti history. And now it's kind of unfair to put them in any other category other than, hey, give them a break, or hey, why are we surprised that they're immigrants coming here? We kind of ruined it for them. So that's kind of the mindset. And I have a few articles up, and I'm basically just going to be going through them. I'll list some of the articles in the description if they are relevant. I am reading this just the same as you probably are if you're unaware of this topic. And this is more of just like a chill thing. So again, bear with me. So yeah, I start off with their Wikipedia just to kind of get like a starting off point. That Ryan Grimm clip that I played is the most knowledge I have of Haiti. I mean, other than just kind of general basic knowledge that I'm sure many people have of it. They know Haiti was one of the first black colonies that had a revolution. And ever since then, and the earthquakes, you really don't hear much about them. I mean, other than, of course, what's been happening now with the Haitian immigrant story is what really inspired me to make this video. I'm sure a lot of people probably had their most exposure was from the Haiti story. And so, yeah, I don't blame people for, again, not knowing much about it because I don't know anything about it. And I'm only exposed to it when it comes to like controversial stuff like this. So, of course, what I'm reading here is there was some French ruling, then the Haitian Revolution. Okay. So, inspired by the French Revolution of 1789, the principles of the rights of man, the French settlers and free people of color pressed for greater political freedom and more civil rights. Tensions between the two groups led to conflict as a militia. Free colors were set up in 1790 by Vincent Ogui, resulting in his his capture and torture, sensing an opportunity in August 1791. The first slave armies were established in northern Haiti and backed by Spanish and Santo Domingo. Okay. So the juxt of it all is that Haiti had revolution. So they had their colonization of the French settlers, and then post-revolution history, I think it's fair to pin down. Again, reading the Wikipedia article, we'll dive a little bit more into a little bit more of what else this is, but I'm looking at the wiki and it looks like that's how it's broken out. You have, wow, they had a lot of imperialism. So they had the Haitian Revolution, and just scrolling down I'm seeing that there was a Spanish and American colonization as well. I knew the Americas and American settlers had some. I thought that there was interference, somewhat in our most modern time era. Like when I read this is like 1800s. I didn't know we were that deep into Haiti, which is like really obviously ignorant of myself, but it's weird. reading the wiki, there was pledge allegiance to France. He fought the British and France. Okay, and not to disregard the Haitian Revolution. I know that's probably a really big aspect, but I just want to know what we saw of in our kind of like post colonialism. Like I feel like many of these countries, like a Papua New Guinea or I don't know if actually Papua New Guinea had it, but I'm thinking of like places like Dominican Republic, where they had a very similar wiping out of Taino, and they were basically living post the slavery trade. And I know a lot about Dominican Republic, but I don't know much about Haiti and its surrounding places. But I always hear Haiti, right? So that's what really made me want to say like, okay, what happened after? Because all these places had this sort of, and that's how I understand it. God, this is insane. So throughout the revolution, estimated 20,000 French troops succumbed to yellow fever and killed in action. There was a lot of deaths in this. For the enslaved Haitians died. Okay. Because my main goal is to see I want to see an independent Haiti and how it recovered if it didn't. Because the claim that Ryan Grimm is saying is post its revolution, this kind of stagnant country, or this country just stayed stagnant, right? And so, I'm more curious about like the current age post revolution. So again, not to like disregard that. That's where I'm curious on, and that's kind of where the topic's been focusing. So they had the first empire, the Saint Damounouche. It was proclaimed under the native name Haiti by Jean-Jacques Dessalines on 1 January 1804 in Gonaïves, and he was proclaimed emperor for life as Emperor Jacques. Okay. Only 3 categories of white people were selected. So it looks like there was a genocide of any remaining white men. Only 3 categories of white people were selected out of exception and sparred. It was Polish soldiers who were deserted from the French and fought alongside the Haitian rebels. The small group of German colonists invited the North region. Medical doctors, professionals, reportedly people. Okay. The revolution led to waves of immigration. Is that immigration? Immigration. The actively. Okay, so I thought it was immigrate. But it's EMI. So it doubled the city's population. Plantation system was reestablished in Haiti, albeit for wages. However, many Haitians were marginalized and resented the heavy-handed manner in which this was enforced. So there was still some sort of, like, I'm assuming cotton picking. I'm assuming slave work. But I mean, I think at that point it was just part of like an existing country. Like you needed to have an export. But I'm sure the conditions were still awful, but at least people were getting paid. The state of Haiti, Kingdom of Haiti, and Republic of Haiti. After Dessalines' death, Haiti became split into 2, with the Kingdom of Haiti in north directed by Henry Castove. Republic was less absolutist and the French managed to maintain a precarious control of eastern Hispaniola when were defeated by insurgents by Juan Sanchez Ramirez, with the area returning to Spanish rule in 1809 following the Battle of Paulo Hincado. Okay, so where is Hispaniola compared to Haiti? Oh, Hispaniola is the entire. I should know that. I freaking love Dominican Republic. It always blows my mind about the difference between Haiti and Dominican Republic, given that they're on the same island, and given that Haiti always suffers. What it seems to be, from the news I read, is that Haiti suffers from a lot more destruction of earthquakes and have a greater disparity of poverty. So this is the unification of Hispaniola, beginning in 1821. President Jean-Pierre Boyer, also a homme de couleur and success to successor to Petition reunified their island following the suicide of Henry Christophe. After Santo Domingo declared its independence from Spain on 30th of November 1821, Boyer invaded seeking to unite the entire island by force and ending slavery in Santo Domingo. Struggling to revive the agricultural company to produce the commodity crops, Boyer passed the Code Rural, which denied peasant laborers the right to leave the land, enter the towns, or start farm of their own. Starting in September 1824, more than 6,000 African Americans migrated to Haiti with transportation paid by American philanthropic groups, similar in action to American colonization efforts in Libya, Republic of Libya. Okay. Many found the conditions too harsh and reunited to the United States. Wow, so many African Americans came to the Haiti colony, the independent Haiti colony, with hopes to be there, but then they returned. That's funny. I mean, in a morbid way, it's like you have a free, independent world that you're finally going into, and it's like, well, it sucks here. Kind of miss the good old America, because 1824, you still have the height of slavery. I mean, you probably have a lot more freedmen than like its beginnings. Let's see. You have 1865, so that's 40 years, give or take, until you saw like the height, or you saw like the light of, hey, we're gonna get some freedom, and you went back. That's awful. Okay, so the loss of the Spanish portion of the island. After losing the support of Haiti's elite, Boyer was ousted in 1843 with Charles Revere Herod replacing him as president. Nationalist Dominican forces in eastern Hispaniola, led by Juan Pablo Duarte, seized control of Santo Domingo on February 1884. Or 1844, 84. The Haitian forces had prepared for a significant uprising, capitulated to rebels, effectively ending the Haitian rule of eastern Hispaniola. Okay, so some pretty back and forth of losing and gaining. Fair. Dominicans were considered merely insurgents. After only 1 year in power, was replaced by obscure officer Faustin Cholisque. During the first 2 years of the Cholisque administration, conspiracy officers who faced were being in power were remained unfold. Dominican were given space. But when 1848 France finally recognized the Dominican Republic as a free independent state, previously signed a treaty of peace, friendship of commerce, Haiti immediately protested and claiming the treaty was an attack upon their own security. So they decided to invade the new republic before the French government could ratify the treaty. On March 21st, 1849, the Haitian soldier attacked the Dominican garrison at Las Matas. The demoralized defenders offered almost no resistance. Before abandoning their weapons, Solis pressed upon capturing San Juan. This is left only in town of Azura, remaining Dominican stronghold of the Haitian army and capital. Azua fell to the 18,000 strong Haitian army with 5,000 men. Dominican counterattack, failing to oust them. The way Santo Domingo is now clear, but the news of the discontent existing at Port-au-Prince, which reached Salisque, arrested his further progress, caused him to return with the army to his capital. Emboldened by the sudden retreat of Haitian army, the Dominicans counterattacked. I didn't know there was that contentious between the Haitian and Dominicans of the time. Their flotilla went as far as Dame-Marie and the west coast of Haiti, which they plundered and set on fire. After another Haitian campaign in 1855, Britain and France intervened and would obtain armistice on behalf of Dominicans who declared independence as the Dominican Republic. Their sufferings endured by soldiers during the campaign of 1855 and the losses and sacrifices inflicted on the country without yielding any compensation or any practical results provoked great discontent. 1858, a revolution began, led by General Fabre Geffrard, Duke of Tabia. In December, Geffrard defeated the imperial army and seized control of most of the country. As a result, the emperor abdicated his throne. Okay, so this is where I think we'll see a lot of what we're looking for. We're now in the late 19th century. The following Salisque overthrow down to the century was a turbulent one for Haiti, which repeated bouts of political instability. President Girard was overthrown in a coup of 1867 and was successor of Sylvain Sylvanet in 1869 under the presidency of Michel Domonge. Celeste, I swear to God. I'm both like playing with a bunch of cats surrounded by me who want to like stick by my window. And then I'm also like trying to make sure I'm not playing at all. Um, okay, so both parties acknowledged independence. Haiti's relations with the outside powers were often strained. 1889, the United States attempted to force Haiti to permit the building of a naval base at Mont Saint Nicolas, which was firmly resisted by President Hippolyte. Ay, 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 Celeste, get the fuck out of here if you're just gonna sit there. Dude, let go, let go, let go. Okay. Haiti and outside power were often strained. Okay, so it looks like there was already pressure from the United States in 1889. This is post our abolishment of slavery. The first decades of 20th century Haiti experienced great instability and heavy in debt to France, Germany, and the United States. A series of short-lived presidencies came and went. President Pierre Nord-Alexis was forced from power in 1908, as was his successor. So they were forced from power, like from their people. I'm clicking on the article. December 7th, the proclamation of Jean-Antoine Simon as president of Haitian Republic has been decided upon. The commander of the victorious. I'm a little confused here. Who forced them from power? Lordy Wardy. It's only that one source in 1911. It looks like an article from... Oh no, there's a second one here. Let's see. So Simon elected president following action by Haitian Congress. He's recognized by the United States. So the United States recognized. This is from the New York Times. This is 1908. The leader of the latest revolution in Haiti, which resulted in the flight of President Nord-Alexis from capital, was unanimously elected president of the Republic by the Haitian Congress today. Okay, so he was elected by the Haitian Congress, so it wasn't like the Argentina situation we see now, or not Argentina, Venezuela, where the U.S. didn't like the guy who was running against him. And so we were saying, no, we don't recognize him. Or we were recognizing him over the elected Juan Guaido, is that his name? And even though I don't like Venezuela, we like the Venezuelan dictatorship. It's like, well, we have to, if they elected him, even if it was false, we can't just say, well, we don't agree with it. Like, we can have our disagreements, but their political system seemed to pick them. Again, under dictatorship, it's hard to say, like that he was elected officially, and so I don't think this is the case here. But even then, all that being said, is the U.S. seemed to side with their pick, so I don't think they did anything. I don't know. So far, I haven't seen like any pressure from the United States, like, because I've heard that there was like this sort of like coup by the U.S. to stop Haiti. He was killed. So you had a successor in 1911 who was then killed. Possibly deliberate explosion at the National Palace. Michel Oreste was ousted in a coup, and as was his successor, Oreste Zamor. Okay. So, geez Louise. You got a lot of bad stuff going here, buddy. So I read this and I'm like, okay, so did we oust these people? And I don't know. I'm not getting any. Obviously, we'll see a little bit more, but those presidents being ousted or mysteriously killed is already like a red flag for me of like, okay, how much of this was Western imperialism? I don't know. This is pretty kooky if you ask me, brother. I want to see this guy here, Michel Oreste. Shit, there ain't shit on this guy. He served as president. He was a reformist toppled by the forces loyal to the landowner elitists such as his successor. He died in exile in New York City. What? What the fuck? That ain't giving me shit, god damn it. Okay, so let me just see, because these are a lot more lengthier articles, is the United States occupation. So from 1915 to 1934, Germany increased its influence in Haiti in its period with a small community of German settlers wielding disproportionate influence in Haiti's economy. The German influence prompted anxieties in the United States and have heavily invested in the country, whose government defended their right to oppose foreign interference in the Americas under the Monroe Doctrine. In December 1914, the Americans removed $500,000 from the Haitian National Bank, but rather than seize it to help pay the debt, it removed for safekeeping in New York, thus giving the United States control of the bank and preventing other powers from doing so. This gave a stable financial base in which to build the economy, so enabled the debt to be repaid. In 1915, Haiti's new president, Vilbron Guillaume sought to strengthen his tenuous rule by mass execution of 167 political prisoners. Oh, goodness. Outrage of the killings led to riots. Sam was captured and killed by a lynch mob. Fear and possible foreign intervention or the emergence of a new government led by anti-American Haitian political Roosevelt. President Woodrow sent U.S. Marines in Haiti in July 1915. The USS Washington, under Rear Admiral Caperton, arrived in Port-au-Prince in an attempt to restore the Marines' declared martial law. Severely censored press within weeks. A new pro-U.S. Haitian president, Philippe Studio Doctunive, was installed, and new constitution written in the favorable interest of the United States. So at this point we're already kind of leaning towards U.S. favorability, right? Like we're pushing this country to basically bend to the will of the U.S. I mean, we were, when reading that, it looked like the debt situation that they had was us taking advantage of them. And I mean, obviously, like, the U.S. had their own interest in mind, so that's not, I mean, this is the 1900s where, you know, you're basically just trying to get as much land and like there's no hey guys, maybe we shouldn't do this, you know, like I don't even know when the Geneva Convention was written, so it's definitely we're definitely seeing like the U.S. kind of at its worst right now. I don't know much about Germany. I didn't even know they had like any sort of power during that time. Like I didn't think they were expanding to like Haiti, you know, during that time. So curious. It's crazy. This is like FDR time. So the Haitian people were against the U.S. occupation, but it did prove Haitian infrastructure. Okay. So they were killing. So after U.S. forces left, Dominican dictator Rafael Trujillo used anti-Haitian sentiment as nationalist tool, an event that became known as the Parsley Massacre, in order to kill Haitians living in Dominican Republic side of the border. Few bullets were used. See, I knew of that. There's been sentiment against the Haitian people, there's a common sentiment in Haiti versus Dominican Republic. Like, you have people who don't jive well on the same island, purely based on like race, and the Dominican side is a lot more like Western cooler with each other. Like they're cooler with the Western ideology. It seemed like that's the vibe I got. And then the Haitian people were always kind of like split from that, and they're also like, they have darker roots. Like the Haitian people are just darker, so there was like that sort of like racial overtone to begin with. brain drain from which it had yet to recover. See, that's where I'm curious on. Like, it sounds like the U.S. had some positives when their um, intervention took place. Like, they helped in the beginning. It seemed like they were helping rebuild agriculture and infrastructure, but then throughout their colonization era, they were. Let me pause this text to speech. It sound like, so reading this, it's like, okay, they had like the beginning, it seemed like they had a pretty nice relationship, even helping, even though it seemed like the United States was kind of holding their money. There was some like aid to Haiti, I think, because they felt that they needed to help these people. I mean, help a captor in a sense, right? Like, we don't give a shit about the Haitian people. We just like this frontier, from what I'm reading, right? Like, this just seems like the U.S. had fears of losing, some neighbors to another regime, right? So they took over. They had a pretty good stronghold. I imagine they didn't want Germany or France into it. And then you have this post-occupation era where you installed multiple different governments, and the most successful long-reigning one was the Duvalier dynasty. They were followed. So they had, I guess, a lot of turmoil, but the U.S., I think, respected that they were so anti-communistic during the height of McCarthyism, I assume. But in turn, because of this stronghold on Haiti from this one family, many Haitians didn't thrive. I feel like you couldn't have, even with your tourism, which had nosedive in Papa Doc's time, it became a growing industry. However, the economy continued to decline. Baby Doc's grip on the power began to weaken. Then they had the pig population slaughter. The opposition became more vocal when Pope John Paul visited the country and lambasted the president. Demonstrations occurred in Gonavie. So you already had you had a Haitian sentiment against Duvalier. Duvalier left the country for France. Okay, so now we're in post-Duvalier era. Following Duvalier's departure, Army-led General Henry Namphy headed to a new national government. Elections scheduled for November 1987 were aborted after a dozen inhabitants were shot in the capital by soldiers in Tonton Mascouts. Fraudulent elections followed in 1988, in which 4% of citizens, only 4% voted. The newly elected president, Leslie Ménage, was overthrown some months later. In June 1988, Haitian coup d'etat. Oh my God. How many freaking coups? Henry overthrew and on 18 number of military assignments. Paul telephoned President Leslie Ménage. Oh my gosh. Another coup followed in September 1988 after the Saint Jean Bosco massacre, and approximately led to a critic and Catholic priest. April transferred power. In December 1990, Jean Bertrand Estrade was elected president of the Haitian general election. It's funny to see, like, the mention of Haiti history. So far, the hurricanes that I've seen, haven't been any at all. But Hurricane Gordon brushed Haiti, dumped heavy rain, creating flash flooding. Gordon killed 1,122 people, although estimates go as high as 2,000. Man, this poor fucking country. You were hit with relentless overthrowing and installments of governments, and then your weather. Rene Preval gained 80% of the popular votes, albeit a low turnout. Estrade subsequently forming his own party. A political deadlock ensued. The November 2000 election returned Estrade to the presidency with 90% of the vote. The election had boycotted by opposition in Convergence Démocratique over a dispute in the May legislative elections. Okay, in 2004, the anti-Estrade revolt in northern Haiti rebellion eventually reached the capital. The precise nature of events were disputed. Some, including Estrade and bodyguard Franz Gabriel, stated that it was the victim of the new coup. These charges were denied by the U.S. Post-Estrade era. Amidst the continuing political chaos and series of natural disasters, it hits Haiti. 2004 tropical storm Jean skimmed the north, leaving 3,000 people dead, and mudslides, mostly of Gonavi. That is depressing as hell. Okay, let's take a pause here. Take a look at my girlfriend. Okay. So, post-Aristide era, amidst the continuing political chaos, a series of natural disasters hit Haiti. Into this fourth tropical storm Janine skimmed the north coast, produced heavy winds on January 2010. It was struck by a magnitude 7.0 earthquake. God, so it seems like it ramped up. I don't know why or how, but there was like an increase of pretty disastrous earthquakes. And I'm not laughing at the people themselves, but it just, God, that's so depressing. Like, okay. It was also one of the deadliest. Sure. United Nations peacekeeping contaminated the country's main river after the cholera outbreak. Jeez, my God. Okay. In 2011, both former dictators Jean-Claude Duvalier and Jean-Bertrand Aristide returned to Haiti. Attempts to try Duvalier for crimes committed under his rule were shelved following his death. Okay. Haitian government called for European governments to pay reparations for slavery. Meanwhile, continued political wrangling, the opposition allegations of a fraud. Marseille agreed to step down. So they had fraud on top of the hurricanes. Okay. President Moise was assassinated in an attack on private residence. Oh, goodness. So they had another president. He was assassinated. Political uproar, slavery, hurricanes, assassination attempts, and coups. Yeah, this country's kind of plagued with stuff. Like, they suffered another hurricane or earthquake. In 2023, kidnapping jumped. So, Haiti's economic condition led to the rise of gang violence, escalated to a long-lasting, full-blown gang war. In 2023, kidnapping jumped 72%. Doctors, lawyers, and other wealthy members of society were kidnapped or held ransom. In 2024, Ariel Henry was prevented by gangs from returning to Hawaii. Following a visit to Kenya, Henry agreed to resign once a transitional government has been formed. Nearly half of Haiti's population was living under the acute food insecurity, according to the World Food Program. Haiti took over the governance of Haiti. Michael Betricoswat was named interim prime minister. The council appointed Gary Connell as acting prime minister. Okay, so it doesn't seem like they are on an uptick of prosperity. I think it's fair to say. I don't see anything much saying about it. A lot of the wiki sources are just articles from the time period. So let's then click on. We're gonna see on the U.S. Department of State archive from 2001, the United States invasion of an occupation of Haiti, 1915-34, under interventionist policies of the early 20th century President Woodrow Wilson sent the United States Marines into Haiti to restore order and maintain political and economic stability in the Caribbean. After the assassination of a Haitian president in July of 1915, the occupation continued until 1934. The United States government had been interested in Haiti for decades prior to its occupation as potential Navy. Okay, so we did have ideas of having a naval base for United States and other imperialist powers. Haiti's stability was a great interest for U.S. diplomatic. So I think that's where in the 1950 on the Wikipedia, you saw that there was an increase of like their infrastructure, or there was a better, there was funds and better placing. There was an effort to better their infrastructure and all around well-being because we had interest in keeping them as a naval base. I think that's fair to say. I don't think that's contested. This is from the United States Department Archive. Just like we have with Puerto Rico, we don't want our territory to fall, so we want to keep them alive and good, even though they're probably, and this is very surface level understanding of Puerto Rico, but we're not like the greatest to them, even though I think many of them still want to stay part of the American regime. There is that sort of like, you're not mainland, so we're trying to be cool with you. It's not Hawaii, it's not Alaska, so we're not like kissing your ass or throwing you the same like we are for American Samoa or the Puerto Rico territory. So that's my assumption, right? Like we're keeping them at bay. We're keeping them alive. We're keeping them healthy, but it's still this like imperialist action. The interested in Haiti. Okay. So in 1868, President Andrew Jackson suggested the annexation of the island of Hispaniola, made up of Haiti. That's funny because I know Andrew Jackson was very isolationist. He did not like brown people, so I don't think he would have been. I think a lot of it maybe was because he just didn't give a shit about other territories and countries. Could be wrong. The U.S. a defensive economic state in the West Indies from 1889 to 1891. Secretary of State James Blaine sought out less of Mole St. Nicolas, a city of Haiti's northern coast, strategically located for a naval base. France, as the former colonizer of Haiti, retained strong economic diplomatic ties. In 1824, Franco-Haitian agreement, France recognized the Haitian independence of Haiti, paid a large indemnity, this keeping Haiti constant state. Although unhappy about Haiti's close connection to France, policymakers in the United States were more concerned about the increased German activity. German men married Haitian women to get around laws denying foreigners land ownership. So German people were basically trying to have influence in the beginning of the 20th century on Haiti. They were marrying Haitian women. I wonder if there's like an influx of German names there too. My grandmother's name was Olga, and she's from Mexico, but I know that they had some German ties. The United States considered it Germany and its chief rival in Caribbean, feared German control. Okay. So increased stability in Haiti years before 1915 led to the high inaction by the United States to deter foreign influence. Between 1911 and 1915, 7 presidents were assassinated or overthrown, increasing the U.S. policymakers' fear of foreign intervention. Woodrow Wilson sent Marines into... Just want to go back, make sure I didn't miss anything. Sent Marines into Haiti in December, safekeeping. So we wanted to stop a German invasion. Okay. The invasion ended with Haitian-American Treaty of 1950. The article of the agreement created a Haitian gendarmerie. So the invasion ended with Haitian-American Treaty. The articles of agreement created a Haitian gendarmerie, essentially a military force made of American Haitians and controlled by the U.S. Marines. The United States gained complete control over Haitian finances and the right to intervene in Haiti whenever the U.S. government deemed necessary. The U.S. government also forced the election of a new pro-American president, Philippe Souda d'Artagnan. Gosh, by the Haitian, I'm terrible at names. The Haitian Legislation Act, August 1915. So the election of president did not represent the choice of the Haitian populace, which increased unrest. So, okay, you can easily say in 1915, at that point, we already had instability from Haitian history, German, French, and just all around post uprising for the Haiti Revolution, right? So they were already struggling. They were already battling against, it seems like, all Western forces, it seems. Post the Haitian Revolution, Haiti was on this sort of struggle, right? It seems like they were going up and down and then combating Western forces. So definitely I'm leaning towards that the Haitian people are already having a struggle. Like they're already having their backs against the wall. And then when the U.S. stepped in, it definitely increased the unrest even more, given, again, this breakdown from the U.S. Department of State Archive. Okay, so following the successful manipulation of the 1915 elections, the Wilson administration attempted to strong-arm Haitian legislation and adopted a new constitution. The constitution allowed foreign land ownership, which had been outlawed since the Haitian Revolution, as a way to prevent foreign control of the country. I'm curious if, like, the Wilson administration would have benefited by excluding that foreign land ownership and just saying, like, you are part of the U.S., but I don't know. I don't know how successful. It just seemed like and I think they had a lot of resentment towards any sort of foreign land invasion or land investment. And so they're like, no, dude, like that's our biggest line. The legislature was recommended to change longstanding law. Lawmakers began drafting new anti-American constitution, but the United States President d'Artagnan dissolved the legislation. Okay, so that president... But the United States forced president, so they were trying to create legislation to push back against the American imperialism. Some of the general more popular policies, including racial segregation, press censorship, forced labor. Okay, so U.S. Senate sent to investigate sent an investigative committee into Haiti to examine claims of abuse, and subsequently the U.S. Senate reorganized the central power in Haiti. In 1929, a series of strikes and uprising led the U.S. to begin withdrawal from Haiti. So in 1930, U.S. officials began training Haitian officials to take control of the government. In concert with President Franklin D. Roosevelt, good neighbor policy officially withdrew from Haiti while retaining economic connections. So we were still connected in some way. Let me click on the good neighbor policy. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, my boy, took office to determine and improve relations with the nations of Central and South America under the leadership in the United States, emphasized cooperation and trade rather than military force to maintain still. Oh, okay. So that seems like a pretty cool middle ground where they're cool with us. It's kind of like, I feel like how our relationship is with Mexico. We don't own Mexico, but like they rely on us and we do rely on them to an extent. And so like that's better to keep your neighbors at peace with us, right? If we benefit and we work together. I have always pushed for this kind of like the Americas continent as like this power force that if we all just work together, we would be unstoppable. So I love that idea. So we basically made it so that we cannot intervene with their policies. The definite policy of the United States right now is opposed to armed intervention. In 1934, Roosevelt direction the 1903 treaty with Cuba based on the Platt Amendment that gave the United States the right to intervene to preserve internal stability or independence was abrogated. I don't know what abrogated is. Abrogated? Abrogated. Okay, oh, we got rid of it. Abrogated is just to get rid of it. Okay. So FDR seemed to have he wanted to distance himself from interventionist policies, such as the Roosevelt Colliery and the military intervention in the region 1910-2010. Okay, cool. So I have another article here reflecting on the U.S. occupation of Haiti 100 years later. This was written in 2015. This is from looks to be a Black-centric organization called Black Perspectives. I don't know much about them. They were the first that popped up when I looked up the history of Haiti, but let's see. In 1915, United States Marines invaded Haiti. U.S. policymakers justified the invasion by pointing the death of Haitian President Golaim Sam at the hands of the mob, but this violence was more of a convenience than a concern. It reminds me of maybe the 2001 invasion when we were attacked. We had such good reason to attack, like nobody was in opposition of it. Maybe like a Bernie Sanders, right? But you had a lot of people saying no, or a lot of people saying yeah, like we should invade these mofos. So when we attacked after 2001, I feel like this is a pretty. I think a lot of people have the sentiment of like we would have attacked either way, and this was just like a blessing in disguise for the American industrial complex, or the military industrial complex. But I don't know that in this case. So far, it seems like, I mean, it's definitely U.S. concern and U.S. benefit. Like we wanted to benefit before Germany or France could. And I guess it's like if it would be great if no one did. It would be nice if we all just threw money at them and we had a kumbaya. But that's just not how the world worked. So again, I'm not trying to combat this article so fast and so quick because I think they know more about this topic than I. But that's what I'm getting so far from just reading the wiki and then the whole breakdown of the U.S. invasion. It definitely seemed like we were just trying to get a leg up, but also this is 1950, maybe fears of Germany. I feel like it's excluding that. But again, I'm sure it's like 80% to 20%. Like 80% we want this like naval base land that we could use, and then 20% maybe like we're terrified of Germany. I don't know. That's my first thought. I want to talk about the Cuban Revolution, the Cuban Missile Crisis after this. That just hit me right now because I was just about to compare it to that, and I don't really know much about that. Okay. Now, with the outbreak of World War I, portending a German encroachment in the Caribbean, President Woodrow Wilson says, "Oh, okay, so they do bring this up." Identified the unrest of Port-au-Prince as a perfect excuse to realize long-standing military and economic aspirations, allowing them to act on their racism too. In the estimations of Wilson's Secretary of State, Haitians had proven their inherent tendency to revert to savagery. Okay, so that's fair that This article is like, yeah, U.S. is kind of some dicks on this because they are. The U.S. was looking. I'm. That's why I brought up, Andrew Jackson too. Andrew Jackson had really racist sentiment, even like more so during his time, from what I've read. The occupation, motivated by these prejudices, had unsurprising effect. It crippled Haiti. So our intervention was not a benefit. Was not a benefit for them. Right, like even though that I think earlier in the Wikipedia article we were reading that we had some sort of like positive impact. The attempt to reforge the bonds of slavery broken during the Haitian Revolution met considerable resistance. Peasants mobilized throughout the countryside to repel the Marines. Moreover, Haitian journalists published anti-occupation articles. Politicians resigned their posts. Musicians penned songs of liberation. Okay, so the National Association of Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, Field Secretary James. Oh, okay, so the NACC, the NA double, is it NAACP? What is it? NAACP? Okay. That's where Dolezar worked, and she's in Tucson. Fun fact. For those who don't know, Dolezar was the woman, I think, who pretended to be black, and she now lives in my city. So, the reported conditions occupied Haiti, inspired white liberals to oppose occupation. Okay, so it seems like sentiment in Americas did not like the thought of our invasion. Refused to vote for any politician. Like black activists realized truth voiced by NAACP. It was unquestionably the race prejudice prevailed in the United States to make possible brutalities. Okay, I can see that there was racist sentiment to justify our occupation. Okay. As historian, Mary Arenda shows the polemics of Marines who occupied Haiti, entrenched in paternalistic constituted empire and fantastic idea of voodoo in the American conscience. So yeah, it's funny. I feel like voodoo became a big thing back in like when I look at the films that happened during that time. Voodoo, I feel like voodoo was like a big thing. Like when I think of like movies and shows of that time, that style of like voodoo was always a big villain. Alongside Haitian intellectuals, they defended black culture. The impact of occupation was, however, most pronounced in Haiti. Besides killing upwards of 11,000 Haitians, the U.S. Marines destabilized Haitian economic and political geographies by ensuring all roads led to Port-au-Prince. Occupation officials also militarized Haiti to unprecedented extent. Though the creation of Gendarmerie, finally occupation eroded local governance and solidified the influence of the United States and other outside nations upon Haiti. Indeed, the present proliferation of United States troops and foreign non-governmental organizations conjures image of the U.S. occupation. Historians Laurent Dubois notes that the different Haiti is always and still possible. We grapple with the history and outsized rule. The invasion of Haiti by U.S. Marines transformed U.S. culture and foreign policy. It changed black thought. It devastated Haiti. So it doesn't sound like it's a net positive. Not to say imperialism is all like, I'm not going to sit here and be surprised that imperialism isn't great. I mean, the idea is like when Spain went to the Americas, it wasn't like, we're going to make sure this country's good. It's inherent like that. We want to benefit. Like we don't give a shit about these people. We found some cool land, time to reap and benefit. Right. But the idea too of like, it's clear and cut that America bad, Haiti bad because America bad. That's something that I just kind of wanted to pin down. So it seems like the sentiment is fair to say that like Haitian people have been kind of just destroyed by all these different people. I'm going to go to Reddit. I know people are going to laugh, but I'm going to ask historians why Haiti is so poor. This is 3 years ago. And someone asked, why did Haiti become so poor? There are a few different issues at play here, but the short answer is complicated history of colonialism, slavery, and racial tensions that were uniquely damaging to the nascent Haitian state. Whereas Haiti was the second independent nation in Americas, the nations who secured independence after Haiti did so in much different paths. The United States secured independence with the help and recognition of France and Spain, and most of colonial administration pre-independence remained in control after independence. While there were certainly adjustments, the leaders and power bases before and after American independence were largely the same. Other prominent breakaway factions accomplished the same. Simon Bolivar and his independence campaign exploited numerous existing administrations with sympathies towards independence. Brazil, de facto independent at one point, actual seat of power, and Portuguese monarchy who fled from Europe. See, I do got to say, though, I feel like it's harder. I mean, I don't know how close Brazil is to the Portuguese Empire or to Portugal. But when I think of like Haiti, it's not that far from the Americas. Like when you have someone in your backyard, a power, and the U.S. wasn't like the strongest thing in the world at the time in like the 1800s. We were just on the even footing, I believe. I mean, I think we're strong and powerful by all means, but we weren't the empire we are today, right? And so I want to say that like going against the French in Spain, we were just better, but also we had a back door to it. They had to go a long way. Now, granted, they had colonies throughout the Central, South, and Canadian and Americas, North American parts, but I just feel like America had a pretty good. I mean, I'm thinking about it right now in my like American centric mindset, 24. I'm definitely diluting the uphill battle that all countries had on this, but that's how I'm picturing it. Is that like the Americas, the United States, had such a like. I mean, this is like 1900s, right? Or so this is, if this is like 1802, maybe we're still, fighting this upward battle of becoming a nation. We just freshly, beat the British. So, I mean, we're strong, right? Like we're a strong country, but. Okay, so there were several consequences of the, okay, so the Haitian, okay, so let's see. Haiti enjoyed none of this. The Haitian Revolution was led in the first stages by Toussaint Louverture, who was a freed slave and had little experience or political connections to rely on. He was tricked into meeting with the French under pretense of negotiations, at which point he was arrested. He died less than a year later in prison. Jean-Jacques de Soligny, another freed slave, largely took control of Haiti revolutionary forces and established independence in Haiti. So I guess I really was dumbing down just how pivotal the Haitian Revolution was, because I just took like, okay, you become independent. What happens? But it seems like the independence part was such a hindrance to them, which is crazy. It's crazy to say, but like it sounds like a lot of positive forces, some benefits that people took from the leaving of like when Mexico left Spain, and when you had slavery freed in Americas, there was a lot of like tension and moments of inertia that allowed the country to grow. Whereas like when Haiti revolted and became their own thing, they kind of missed a few steps, which would have been pivotal to, I guess, being like considered helpful or respected on the main stage of the world. I don't know. They were so the Haitian Revolution forces established independent Haiti in 1804 before being assassinated in 1806. Prior to assassination, de Soligny ordered a mass killing of French citizens. So I think killing white men definitely put the fear in a lot of Western regimes. There were several consequences of mass killing and general political disorder. Both Louverture and de Soligny being removed from power in hostile manners in short period. So that also, too, I guess the way they handled it was probably shit. Like killing those people made that political disruption. It's quite damaging. While all the damaging enough, the solution opened the door for diplomatic extortion of Haitians. But while the French enmity was repaid, okay. Okay. But while the French enmity was repaid, this was still only part of the issues facing Haiti. The other issue was even after fears of slave revolt were quelled, the United States remained belligerent at best towards the Haitians. So Andrew Johnson. I kept saying Andrew Johnson. I was thinking Andrew Jackson because I'm a fucking idiot. I was like, the time seems so off, but I'm like, oh, maybe it's one of those like Cleopatra who lived closer to our time than ancient Egypt, Newly elected President Florvil Hippolyte refused the demands, which angered the United States. Haiti's troubles continued when the Germans in 1897 demanded pardon for German national Emile Luders, along with formal apology, indemnity, and host of embarrassing demands, backed yet another fleet of warships. This became an issue as the United States viewed the Luders affair as a sign as German influence had grown too strong. Political instability during the following years eventually prompted U.S. businesses to lobby the government to intervene, an interventionist that granted Woodrow Wilson in 1915. So it sounds like everything before the 1915 invasion was not successful. There was tension, but it seems like the German... I'm still confused on how the Germans either way, I guess I don't want to like dive into it because I'm thinking now Germans say they still have control up until 1915. Germany would have lost in both World War I and II regardless, more so in II. So it doesn't matter. Like there was no way in the world Haiti was never going to have the U.S. involved. Not to say the 1915 invasion was good, but it was kind of inevitable from what it reads. About 40% of Haitians' wealth was seized by the United States and used to pay off loans to American banks, so it doesn't seem like a net positive for them. The United States had final sale over expenditures, which is definitely not a net positive. The Haitian legislature refused to ratify the new constitution. The United States occupying forces dissolved the legislation, did not allow new legislation to meet until 1929. That sucks. The prominent black American began protesting. Dubois and the NCAP decried conditions in Haiti. Reversed older racial politics. Conditions continue to deteriorate. Okay, finally, 1933, the situation became so untenable, the United States began withdrawing. Okay. But we had financial control until debts were repaid during the final stage. So we never really let them grow. They had this like debt that they were trying to deal with, it seems like. I mean, many countries do, but I think in this case they had to, right? I mean, we have debt with China. I don't know how that works. Like, are we like beholden to drop some bucks on it to reduce that debt every day? I don't know. Haiti's education was essentially dismantled, replacing prior comprehensive education with a strict vocational system, only taught agricultural practices and siphoned even more money from Haitian in those United States. Okay, segregation had been imported from American South and enforced Haiti. Altogether, somewhere between 3,000 and 15,000 Haitians died during the occupation. Wowzers. So I've condensed an combination of French United States hostility, extortionate policy toward the island, effectively deprived Haiti of almost 125 years of economic development, and they've only begun to recover from 1934 or later 1947. While the colony was rich and fairly well situated, the Dimities siphoned almost all of its wealth into the French and American banks. I don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. So what I'm going to say is I think this is a good spot to end it. We have a brief summary. I'm going to do another video doing a part 2 of actual scholarly literature and basically going from there. But I think a good way to summarize what we just read on the surface level readings of all these is that the Haitian people suffered from the acts of slavery. When having a revolution, they were still pressured by the Western forces, and they never really got to recover until the 1930s. From there, the 1930s, they had to have an uphill battle because there was still U.S. tension and U.S. debt to be paid, but it basically hindered their economic growth. And then on top of that, alongside having a lack of smart, educated people who were just fleeing to other countries, they had to deal with hardships of nature. Like, I just see this as very similar to many other countries, but Haiti seemed to have the biggest hindrance. I mean, I don't know everybody's stuff, but someone, I think this is actually even a better place to end it here, because someone asked the question I had was like, since 1947, why did they continue to be poor, right? Like, I know that there's going to be like you have like a generation of men and women gone from your country who could have benefited. So that's obviously, that explains maybe 50 to 100 years of lack of disparity, or like a lack of like wealth, equity. But this guy answered, if you go into more economic theory, economic history, and specifically looking at convergence theory is somewhat controversial in this field, as many dispute that convergence happens at a level to which. In short, convergence theory states that poor countries should catch up to richer countries over time in certain conditions. One of the major conditions given the human capital and institutional investments, which is covered in final sections, were not only well created prior, but also dismantled during the U.S. occupation, unless Haiti has experienced actual growth or on pace or exceeding the region from the 50s. Barring a few major exceptions, 92, 2003, 2016. These are in order: the coup against President Aristide, the second coup against Aristide, and Hurricane Matthew. Okay, so it seems like, see, that's where my second reading wants to go. In my next video, we're going to talk about the post. I want to see if U.S. still had involvement with. See, I'm seeing like there was a coup against the President Aristide. Haiti's poor currently in a large part because they started almost 150 years behind, which is fair to say. But how deep was our involvement against the President Aristide? That's what I want to check on. So thank you all for watching. We'll have a part 2. Again, these are just chill videos. If you want to just hear me read and talk and ramble, please, by all means. But I will link what I've read in the description. Thank you. Bye.